Hello everyone, I am Dr. P. Thilagesh, Assistant Professor, Department of Pharmacy Practice. Today we discuss about the sneeze reflex from irritation to expulsion. Last video we discussed about cold. Today we discussed about sneezing. Sneezing reflex. It is the from irritation to expulsion. First of all, the sneeze reflection from irritation to expulsion. It is a deep dive into the pathophysiology of sneezing and the pharmacological strategies used to manage it. The nervous system's role, a complex pathway. There are three types of nervous system in the sneezing reflex: sensory detection and signal transmission and motor response. The sensory detection, it is the fibers and C fibers in nasal mucosa detect the irritant via the afferent trigeminal system. First of all, uh, A fibers and C fibers. It's a nasal mucosa. These both fibers detect the irritant via the afferent trigeminal system. And then after sensory detection, signal transmission by the peripheral and central nervous system activate simultaneously to process incoming sensory data. Central nervous system means contain the brain and the spinal cord, except brain and the spinal cord, that is called peripheral nervous system. Both system, peripheral nervous system and the central nervous system, activate the simultaneously to process incoming sensory data. And also next one is motor response. Signals generate sensation like itching, tingling, and other trigger the coordinated motor reflex of sneezing. First of all, our nervous system identify the sensory detection. Sensory detection is mainly two types of fibers. A fibers and C fibers. It is a nasal mucosa detect the irritant via the apparent trigeminal system, and also signal transmission. Where it is signal transmission by the peripheral and central nervous system activate simultaneously to process incoming sensory data, and motor response. Signal generate sensation. What are the signals generate sensation? Means itching, tingling, and other trigger the coordinated motor reflex of sneezing. And also triggers more than a just a tickle. A nasal mucosa acutely sensitive. A wide range of stimuli can activate sensory nerve endings and initiate the reflex or allergic triggers. What are the allergic triggers? Means pollen dust, mites, pen tender, and mold spores. Classic allergen that sensitive nasal nerve endings and the drive repeated sneezing episodes. Next one is chemical irritants. Strong perfumes, smoke, airborne chemicals directly stimulate sensory afferents without triggering a full immune response. And another one is physical stimuli. Cold air, sudden temperature changes, and even bright light and a photo sneeze reflex and can activate trigeminal system. These are the more than just a tickle. The nasal mucosa acutely sensitive. A wide range of stimuli can activate sensory nerve endings and initiate the reflexor. What are the reflexes involved in the sneezing? Means allergic triggers, chemical irritants, and physical stimuli. Allergic triggers means like the pollen and the dust mites and the pet tender and mold spores are classic allergens that sensitive nasal nerve endings and drive repeated sneezing episodes. What are the chemical irritants? Means strong perfumes and smoke and airborne chemicals directly stimulate the sensory afferents without triggering full immune response. The cold air and the sudden temperature changes and even bright light and the photo sense sneeze reflex can activate the trigeminal system. Next, neurogenic inflammation. The body immune response. When sensory nerves are activated, then do not just send signals. They release the powerful neuropeptides that drives local inflammatory cascade. Local inflammatory cascade. What are the local cascade? Means neurogenic inflammation, vasodilation, widening the blood vessels, the increased blood flow, increased vascular permeability, leakiness causing fluid extravasation, glandular activation, increased mucus secretion, and leukocyte requirement, attracting immune cells to site of the inflammation, and also substance, potent vasodilator and pre-inflammatory mediator, and neurokinin NKA, neurokinin A. This amplifies inflammation and smooth muscle contraction. These are the neurogenic inflammations, the body's response. Vasodilation, increased vascular permeability, glandular activation, and leukocyte requirement. These are all the neurogenic inflammation. One is vasodilation, second one is The drugs and the sneeze reflex targeting the mechanism. The benzoclocudam bromide M1 and M3 receptor M1 receptor antagonist M3 receptor antagonist for allergic rhinitis and blocks muscarinic receptor that mediate nasal secretion and reinforce sneezing reflexes. It is the next one is montelukast sodium. Montelukast sodium is cyst LT receptor antagonist for the asthma and allergic rhinitis. Blocks cysteine liquid receptor and reducing inflammation and broncho constriction. Montelukast sodium cyst LT receptor antagonist for the asthma and allergic rhinitis. Block cysteine liquid receptor reducing the inflammation and broncho constriction. Next one is fixofenadine hydrochloride. It is the H1 receptor antagonist antihistamine for the allergic rhinitis and reduces the dampen for allergic triggered inflammations. What are the drugs mainly used for the sneezing means benzochloroquine bromide and montelukast sodium. Montelukast and levocetirizine is the both are the combination of the drugs and the fixofenadine is hydrochloride is the antihistamine is the H1 receptor antagonist. The sneezing next one is the sneezing cycle in the allergic rhinitis. In allergic rhinitis, sneezing is a not single event. It is a part of self-reinforcing inflammatory loop that progressively sensitizes the nasal mucosa, mediator release, neuropeptide surge, and heightened sensitivity and allergen exposure. These are the sneezing cycle in the allergic rhinitis. First one is mediator release and neuropeptide surge, allergen exposure, and heightened sensitivity. These are the sneezing cycle in the allergic rhinitis. Beyond allergies and other causes and complications. Sneezing extends well beyond allergic rhinitis. Multiple conditions can trigger or complicate the reflex. Sneezing extends well beyond allergic rhinitis and multiple conditions can trigger or complicate the reflex. Infectious rhinitis. What are the infectious rhinitis means? Viral infection. Example, common cold. Inflamed nasal mucosa directly stimulating sensory afferents. Viral infection like common cold, inflamed nasal mucosa directly stimulating sensory afferents. Vasomotor rhinitis. It is a non-allergen, non-allergic and non-infectious nasal hypersensitivity. Non-allergic, non-infectious nasal hypersensitivity triggered by the environmental changes. Last one is potential consolidation and potential complication and potentially life threatening. It is a chronic sneezing like the by pneumothorax and in COPD like the disease is a potential complication. These are the beyond allergy other causes and complication. The infectious rhinitis and vasomotor rhinitis and potential complications. These are the other causes and complication of the beyond allergies and other causes and complications. Research frontiers. Research frontiers unraveling the mysteries. Reflex mechanisms and neuropeptide targets. Another one is neuroimmune interplay. Reflex mechanism action is ongoing research map the precise neural circuits from the nasal afferents to brainstem sneeze generating centers to identify the novel intervention points. Neuropeptide targets. NP and NCO neurotropins, example NGF, are being explored as a drug targets to interpret the neurogenic inflammation at its source. Neuroimmune interplay, understanding how the nervous system and the immune system co-regulate each other in rhinitis may unlock next generation therapies with fewer side effects. Next, three pharmacological control. The protective reflex is complex underpinning. The sneeze reflex is the far more than a simple mechanism event. It is the result of the finely tuned interplay between the neural and immune and vascular systems. It is the vital airway defense. It is the involuntary and rapid essential for cleaning irritants from the upper airway before occurs. Governed by next one is neural inflammatory balance, governed by the delicate equilibrium between the trigeminal nerve activity and the local inflammatory mediators. Multiple next one is therapeutic target. Multiple receptor classes H1 assist T and muscarinic after actionable drug targets to relieve the symptoms effectively. These are all the three pharmacological control: inflammatory cascade and neural pathway. These are the vital airway defense and the neural inflammatory balance and the therapeutic target. It is the productive reflex with the complex underpinning. Okay, these are the about the sneezing reflex by restriction and implication of the nervous system. What are the drugs mainly used for the sneezing means? It is antihistamine like the fexofenadine and also montelukast and benzochlorapropane bromide. These are the used for the sneezing. Okay, thank you.